everybody, Miss Best here with your week 4 PE activity. This week we are going to be learning about locomotor and non-locomotor skills. But before I get into that, I want you to first go ahead and do your warm-up locomotor activity. So you're going to click on this warm-up locomotor activity and it's a Skills Bop It challenge. So you're going to go ahead and play that, and I'm going to see you back here in about 4 minutes. So go ahead and pause the video and start your warm-up. All right, welcome back. So hopefully you got to get kind of an idea just from that warm-up on what locomotor skills are. So we're going to go down here to our grade level standards, and we're going to talk about exactly what we are trying to achieve with our locomotor skills this week. So my second grade friends, you are working on describing the critical elements of locomotor skills. First grade, you are identifying the critical elements of locomotor skills. And kindergarten, you are recognizing the locomotor skills. The next thing we're going to talk about is what is the difference between locomotor and non-locomotor skills. So if we go down here to the bottom, it says, what are locomotor skills? If we click on that, we're going to see a locomotor movement poster, right? And this poster will tell us all the things that are considered locomotor movements. Locomotor movements are movements that you can take to get from one place to another place. So there are steps, there's some type of movement that you take to travel. So we have a slide step, walk, which is the one that we most common use, followed by run, gallop, jump, leap, crab walk, hop, skip, and roll. So those are going to be our locomotor movements. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to do each one of these locomotor movements. So I'm going to take the screen and lower it down to the floor so you can actually see my feet move as we do each movement, right? So the first one is a slide. Okay, so when we are sliding, we are going to face sideways and our feet are going to be together. I'm going to start over here a little bit. And you're going to take a step and then feet come together. Step, feet come together. You could go the opposite way. Step, feet come together. So I could be facing this direction or I could be facing this direction. So if I was sliding, it would look like this. Okay. The next one it talked about was walking. We do that all the time, so I'm not going to talk about running. It talked about running. We do that all the time. The next one we saw was gallop. Gallop is similar to a slide, but instead of facing sideways, you're going to turn and face forward. So I'm facing you now, right? And when I gallop, I take a step forward, and then my back foot comes together. And then I take a step forward with the same foot, and then together. So often people refer to galloping as looking like a horse. So if I was galloping, it would look like this: step together, step together, step together, right? And I'm going to do it one more time because I'm not sure how well you could see. Step together, step together, step together. The next one they spoke about was jump, right? Jump. When we jump, we have 2 feet together at the same time, and we go up and down at the same time. So I'm jumping with my feet. Oftentimes we get that one confused with a hop. A hop is when I'm on one foot, the other foot is up, and now I go up and down. Okay. And of course it could be on either foot, it just can't be at the same time. The next one is a skip. This is often the hardest one for kids to do. When we skip, second graders, your critical elements for being able to skip is you're going to step forward just like you do in galloping, but instead of bringing that back foot together, you have to hop on that same foot that you put forward. And then you take a step with that opposite foot and you hop again. Okay? So let's look at it sideways. I'm going to take a step and on that same foot, hop. Step, on that same foot, hop. Step, hop. Okay? So if I am skipping, it would look like this. Step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. The next one we had on there, it's pretty explanatory, rolling, right? And if you look at that picture, they're laying on the ground rolling. And then the last one they showed on there was the crab walk. So on the crab walk, you get down on all fours and you walk like a crab. Okay. Now let's go back and take a look at those non-locomotor movements. Non-locomotor movements are movements where our body moves, but we don't leave our place. We stay in the same spot, we don't travel, but our body goes to a different place. So if we look at those, we've got balancing. Okay, so if you think about balancing on one foot, I'm staying right here, I'm not leaving this spot. Okay, bending, if I do any type of bending, I'm staying right here on my spot, in my area, I'm not moving. Okay. Then it talks about curl. Think about when you're doing a sit-up or a curl up. Your body is coming up and down, but you're staying in the same location. Push-ups, okay, same thing. When you're pulling on something, swaying, think about when you do the hula hooping, you're swaying. Sometimes we can make hula hooping locomotor too, if we hula hoop and walk at the same time. Any type of stretching you do, so if I do an arm stretch, I'm going to stretch my arm, but I'm going to stay in the same spot. Turning of your body, right? Any type of turning. And then the last one says twisting. So if I was twisting, standing here, my body's moving, but I'm not moving to a different location. So those are the differences between our locomotor and non-locomotor skills. So your activity today is you're going to watch this video on how to play the game Locomotor Dice around your home. And then after you watch the video, you have some resources that you can use. So here's your resources. You're going to use, if you want to use this one, you use the dice. And depending on what number you roll, it tells you what movement you're going to make. If you'd like to make a dice using locomotor skills, I provided that to you as well. And there's also a dice that you can make that has different places in your house that you can travel to. And then if you don't want to do the dice way and you just want to use like the top one where you rolled the number, and then you could just cut these pictures out and then just randomly pick one, and then you would go to that location. So for example, if you don't want to use the dice, you roll the dice, and let's say I rolled a 2 and got gallop. I could then have these cards down here cut out and all mixed up. I pick one out, let's say I pick the garage. I am going to gallop to the garage and back, and then I would go again. If you use the dice one, right, then you would roll the dice, right, that gives you the locomotor skill, and then roll this dice to tell you where to go and back using that locomotor skill. When you finish that, the last thing I have left for you to do is called listen and move. So in this video, you are going to listen to the sounds, and you're going to practice the locomotor skill that they give you in this video. All right, so that is what we are doing in PE this week as well as next week, continuing to learn about locomotor and non-locomotor skills. Hope you enjoy our activities this week, and I look forward to seeing you next week.